In the Working Group 7 meeting in Austin, there were some discussions of Industry 4.0 and how FDI fits into the work in that area. At that time, I learned that Christian is one of the authors of this roadmap to Industry 4.0 that's being put together within Germany. So I thought that was just really a great topic because it is a thing that many people are talking about. We'll be talking a little bit later about a proposal to write a paper on how FDI fits into this. So I thought it'd be good if Christian could maybe give us a little bit of an overview of the standard. And he agreed to do that and really appreciate it. So he's our invited speaker for today. So with that, I'll turn it over to Christian.
Yes, it's not a fully blown overview about this standardization roadmap we have developed in Germany, but I want to give an overview and give a little bit a relation to our work here, and I have tried to make the direct link between what we call Industrial 4.0 and what we are doing here. And, so it's something like no restriction. Okay, the first question we should speak about is what is the standardization roadmap of Industry good for? These are my words of this. Of course, if you have a look in the document, there is a well-written introduction and scope, but I wanted to summarize a little bit. So first of all, standardization becomes more and more a driving force for innovation. I have a next slide. I will explain it with our example. From my point of view, this is something new. In former times, standardization was done after product was on the market, the technologies was well established, and then the standard was written. But ongoing work shows that there is standardization before products are on the market, and this is something new. The second point is that the industry produce and deliver all over the world, so we have a global production, yes. The next one is that companies become more and more global, and the industrial products have a very long lifetime, even maybe more than 10 years. These companies, of course, want to safeguard their investments, and so now to this roadmap is the idea was to have a look relating to existing and established standards, which maybe have relation to Industry 4.0, of course, related to digital manufacturing. This is our scope. Secondly, is that the roadmap tries to identify which standards are valuable, which are worth to keep in this direction, even if there are some gaps related to system, yes, because we speak about systems in Industry 4.0, and even the intention was to identify research topics, just to give our governments in Germany that means the Ministry for Research or the Ministry of Economic Affairs, hints which could be good topics for funding. The third point is, if one identifies there are gaps, then maybe there have to be new standardization projects. And I think there was a fourth point. Standardization, as we know, has this very established processes. And in this Industry 4.0, there come these modern digital world and the more classical world together, and therefore it's necessary to review our standardization processes. And it's not in the main focus of this presentation, but if one is now interested and have a look in the standards in this roadmap, then there are some discussion about this topic too. I wanted to show a little bit about innovation and standardization, and you know, I have been involved in EDD since maybe 20 years, and I have taken this example. The idea of this innovation from standardization is that based on research work and in industrial support and compliance to this new technologies, methods or models, standards can arise, and based on all this together, innovations is possible. And I have a little bit interpreted in a special style, and my first diploma thesis, this EDD, was in 1993. I was a member of the ISP group, and during that work I found that EDD, based on hardness, was or is a very good technology and bring us into future. And therefore we have started to do some work about this. And later on we have had an European project which is called, or was called NOAA, Network Oriented Application Harmonization. And in this project, one of the working packages was the definition of EDD. And based on this one, there was a specification which was put in the European standardization, similar standardization, and in 2001 it was integrated or was published as SENELEC European standard. And this was basic for the IEC standardization, because we have this 1804 project and we have integrated then this basis to the IEC standards. And so 2004 we get the first EDD standard within the 1804. However, the technology was going on, and one recognized that the standard of the language itself is not enough. One needs interfaces, one needs access from the more higher level, maybe MES or even ERP, and therefore this FDI standard was founded here. So I wanted to show that even in our dedicated work, we have done this kind of standardization as innovation. This only for highlighting this EDD stuff, and one can see that it's really a long period of time, EDD and FDI now. Of course, FDP was also active in the meantime. It was not in this chain, yes, directly in this chain, and therefore I haven't met people there. I have copied this slide out of the roadmap because I wanted to show that is our classical standardization process based on our national committees. I think this is all over the world and with all national committees, maybe not with the lead step of SENELEC, this is in the US, not in this way, but how we are working usually, we start with TKE and then it goes at the end to IEC or vice versa. This slide shows these three levels, the national level, the European level, and the IEC level. And so that is not a local process of our roadmap, so we have to show that we have a European and global view to standardization in the world. I think it's worth to mention who are the contributors of the roadmap. Of course, these are persons. The name of all persons are mentioned in the roadmap at the end. Of course, these persons are coming from companies, but at all they are representing also the communities in the associations. And what you can see here is that we have on one hand side the associations which are directly related to standardization, DIN and DKE, but also coming from different industries which are VDMA, that's machine construction and plant manufacturing. Second is NAMUR, this is a process control, chemical, pharmaceutical, and so on industry. Bitkom is the IT association, and ZVEI is the organization of the electronic and information industry. The aspects of machine, plant, manufacturing as well, process, as well as the producer of the components of this machines and plants are represented there. And The focus of all this work was, on one hand side, automation, mainly with the standards which are in the frame of 65, Industrial Process Measurement and Control System automation, and on the other side, these from the ISO point of view, it's the 18084 automation systems and integration with subcommittees. If you have a look a little bit how this was done in the group, if you have a look at the names, there are several persons which are active as well as in IC or ISO standardization groups, and so there was very, let me say, profound or very good knowledge about this processes and the standard itself. I can't speak about this roadmap without saying anything about the reference architecture model for Industry 4.0, which is called RAMI. It's a topic for itself. I wanted only some words about this. What we can see there, these plates, these are aspects. I start and say at the very beginning, these are not levels, which we usually know that OSI reference model and something. These are level models or our automation pyramid. These are real levels, yes. But in this reference architecture and in this RAMI, these are not real levels. That means that one aspect needs all the others which underneath. So this it's not the way the RAMI is highlighting aspects and brought these aspects together to a cube. This is one point. And what aspects are these? On the, one is the assets. What means that we have the products, we have the field devices, we have the control, we have package units, we have part of a plant, and so on, until we have real complete enterprises. Then we have integration aspects. This integration is related to the adoption of components, that means products, field devices, controllers, and so to their tasks which they have to fulfill in a system. These are integration aspects. Then the next one is the communication. I don't have to say something about this. The next is information. Information is the representation of data with context knowledge, which one example is a property list. Functional are exactly what the components, which means field devices, controllers, and so is doing, and business is. And so we have the direction in front of us, and this is a life cycle. And life cycle means, on one hand side, to define types of products, type of devices, type of package units, as well as then if they are instantiated, if they are put down in a plant, in an enterprise, then these are the inputs. All this together builds a system, yes, which we are speaking about. And now I want to say how this roadmap is working. The roadmap has defined different topics like wireless, like information data integration, semantics, and so on. And based on these different aspects, always there are mentioned some execution standards, and there are mentioned what technology or is behind, methods and models is behind, and then they give recommendations. And I have put here some recommendations which show that these recommendations are mostly related to this RAMI model. And one of these recommendations is existing models and integrations should be integrated in the RAMI model, and there is mentioned the 1804-1, the function block model, and the FDI. I have read this. I was a real member of this, and I have done a real work in this. But from my point of view, the EDD should, this means the parts 1804-3 to 6 have to be mentioned, because part 1 is already withdrawn. This is really a mistake, which I unfortunately identified just now and not during the establishment. I will try to, I will organize it as the next version of the RAMI model of this roadmap will be corrected. And the FTT is also not there. I think I will integrate it there additionally. Now I have integrated, let me say, what we call EDD FDI world there. I have integrated, shown that our technology is at the field device level. And just to explain it a little bit, of the field device has integration work because it has to be parameterized and configured for the point in the plant. Next, they have the functions. Of course, the function fulfill the measurement and actuation functions, diagnosis functions. What are there? They provide information because these are the parameters, and at least it has to communicate. So this is the reason I have put the bar at this point. And in front, I have put it there because our technologies are both worth for the engineering, for the planning part, which means that without the existence of the plant itself or the device, we can configure parameterize already the DTMs and the EDD itself. And if you go to the plant, then the data can be downloaded to the devices. So this was the reason I have explained a little bit the RAMI. I think that the technology is real well placed in these aspects, and it's a real ongoing work, and we have to discuss a lot of people to show which is the power of our technologies. Yesterday I had a meeting with somebody of Telecom, and it's real hard to discuss until they really understand what's behind it. Yeah. So I think it's an ongoing work we have to do. Just to sum it a little bit up, the German roadmap sets the focus to this RAMI model, and it gives recommendation. I have tried to show a little bit which recommendation they are there, and EDD and FDI, I think they are there represented.
It's really great to see that EDDL and FDI is playing a part in all this. So thank you again for your contribution.